It's a pleasure to see so many familiar faces in the crowd. I know we've got a lot of people that were at previous Warriors for Warriors, so I want to thank you for coming out. I'm Chief Master Sergeant Kevin Norman of the 58th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, and it is my honor to welcome all of you to Kirtland Air Force Base and the 58th Special Operations Wing for the 3rd Annual Warriors for Warriors. Before we really get going, I'd like to take a moment to express some thanks and gratitude to some people that helped make this happen. First, our host for today's event, the commander of the 58th Special Operations Wing, Colonel Justin Hoffman. The commander of the 58th Maintenance Group, whose guys had to move all this stuff around, Colonel John Paquette. The president of United to Cure Cancer, and the checkbook for all this stuff, Mr. Matt Finkelstein. The medical director of Southwest Women's Oncology, somebody you guys might know a little bit, Dr. Karen Finkelstein. And lastly, the pack mule who made all this happen and who has sacrificed his sleep, his peace of mind, and has threatened to murder me no less than 3 times today, Master Sergeant Kenny Johnson. At this time, I'd like you all to bring your attention to the table at the front of the stage. As you enter the hangar today, you may have noticed a small table in a place of honor near our head table. It is set for one. Please let me explain. The military cast is filled with symbolism, and this table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs and MIAs. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this evening, and so we remember them because of their incarceration. The table is set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressors. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The single yellow rose, symbolizing remembrance, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep faith awaiting his return, lest we forget. Remember. The red ribbon tied so prominently on the vase is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand proper accounting of our missing. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember. There is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this night. Remember. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. Remember, all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and aid and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember. We also take this moment to give respect and remembrance to those cancer warriors who cannot be with us today. Their battle has provided inspiration to all of us and bonds us together in our shared humanity, while also serving as examples of what warriors in our midst look like. Remember. Let us please have a moment of silence for all of our warriors. Thank you. All right, this is an exciting program for United to Cure Cancer. We recently received our 501c3 designation. This will enable us to use more resources and partner with other networks to provide a comprehensive and effective program in helping people fight the scourge of cancer. We're also working on other programs to help patients, families, and medical providers prevent, treat, and fight cancer. Please stay in touch with our website to stay abreast of new initiatives as they come to fruition. Now, if I could take a moment on a personal note, as past attendees may remember, I lost my wife Judy to ovarian cancer in May of last year. Since that time, I myself have had many struggles. There are times where I probably have not been a very attentive father. I need to do better than that. I have friends who have been there for me through thick and thin, but I think there are times when I have taken them for granted. I am absolutely a work in progress, and I'm working to correct these flaws in me, but man, there's a lot of flaws. But I've also noticed many things. After Judy passed, I took a long trip. I don't know how many of you have been to Glacier National Park, but it is an absolute jewel of God's creation. The Grand Tetons in Wyoming stand tall, patiently waiting for us to acknowledge their beauty. The majestic redwoods stand guard at the Pacific coast, watching us flounder about in our busy lives while they are resolute and patient. My point is, we often focus on the ugly realities of life, but we need to pay attention to the amazing beauty of our experience. Each of us have people in our lives who stand resolute and patient, waiting for us to reach out our hands for just a little help. Sometimes they want to help us more than anything, with only our time and maybe a hug for payment. This life we are given is not to be taken for granted. Instead, we should fight to experience it, not just survive it. Most times, when I would think of Judy, I would cry. Now, I mostly smile. I am grateful to have had the experience of having someone love me more than I thought I deserved. I am grateful for laughter, travels, for mistakes, for tears. I am lucky to have experienced all of this with her. But now I am grateful to be living my life because of her. And because of her, I will work the rest of my life to give meaningful service, but also to experience the full spectrum of life. Some people live to be 95. They grow old and wonder what might have been because they were too afraid to truly live. Others might only live to be 44. But they leave an indelible imprint on the lives of others. They gave love. They laughed at ridiculous things. They absolutely cursed like a sailor. They raised great children. They gave their love to a grateful man. Ultimately, they truly lived and left behind for all of us a legacy of courage.